Hello everyone, it's Winona. I'm here for another video. Kind of got a bit of a frog in my throat today, so excuse that. Just kind of straightening up my desk here. Looks like I have a mess here, but I do have a plan. But before we start, I just would like to start with a little bit of everyday gratitude. And today it says, let us slow down enough to truly notice all that is presenting itself to us as a blessing. What gifts do I miss when I am moving too quickly? Oh, I tend to think you got to do so much all the time, right? I have a hard time slowing down. I think that's something I really need to work on because I'm feeling it today. I'm a little bit off today. I had a bad day yesterday, and it's had some things said to me that really hurt me, and I'm struggling with it today. But anyway, I thought, what better way to get over this feeling than to immerse myself in something that I love. And I have been mentioning that I've been wanting to start a new journal, and most of this is from My Porch Prints. I think it's their purple devotional. So I've pulled some papers from that. I've also pulled some from Collage Type. They go very well together. But I want to dye some papers. And I just want to dye a few. I'm not a big fan of dyeing papers. I will never sell dyed papers because it's not something I enjoy doing. I'd prefer to buy. But I want to get started right away. And I do have the stuff because when I want to do something, I go all in. And I thought I was going to do lots of coffee dyeing and tea dyeing until I started doing it and realized I didn't like the mess up here. I don't, in Saskatchewan, when it's warm, it's usually windy. And I don't have a sheltered area. We live on a farm and it's open. So I have no sheltered area to put my papers in outside to dry. Wine, hey? Boy, I gotta get positive here. This is getting ridiculous. So anyway, I've got reasons why I don't like doing it, but I do want some different colors. So what I did is I pulled this page up because this page represents some of the colors that I love in this kit. And then I went to my Close to My Heart ink because I would use whatever inks you have, but I have Close to My Heart. And every time I buy a Close to My Heart pad, I always buy the re-inker with it for projects like this. So I pulled the lilac, the mint, and the wisteria. I thought they would go fairly well. Now, the colors may be much darker when we're done than this because I'm using the re-inkers with some water diluted. So I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but we will find out. So I'll put that one back. I'll put wisteria back. And I'll put lilac back. And I'll get this out of the way so that we can start. I can show you what I have. These are my papers I want to dye. Like I said, I only want to do a few. And these, if you don't, oh, excuse the noise. I'm just going to get some stuff out of the way. These are fondant mats. And I bought these from AliExpress. I just got to get it on my way. And this is what I used to do my tea-dyed paper background papers last year. And I loved them, and I did them. But I want to work out of probably the top of this pan because these are going to take a while to dry up here, so I want to set them on my cutting table so they're out of the way. And I don't think, yeah, these mats are too big for the pans. And these are really big, so I don't think, we'll see. I might use one of them. And, oh, where'd that come from? And this is the other one. This one does butterflies, but they end up looking like flowers more so. And then over the winter, I got a couple more that I haven't even used yet. Last summer, I had a desk set up, and that's all I did every day as I did different sheets of it. So this one here is a bit thinner. These are about $20 on AliExpress. But I like it because it keeps the mess on the mat. And this is roses. Oh my goodness, that's going to look so good. I don't know if you can see that, but look at, there's roses on here. That's gonna look so nice. Okay, so that one definitely, I don't want to do the mint in. I want to do one of the colors. Oh, this might be the same one. You know what? If this is the same one, let's see. Well, wouldn't that be something if I bought the same one twice? And it is. But you know, that doesn't matter because I can do two colors at the same time then. So what I'm going to do, it's too big to fit in there, but it's bigger than a sheet of paper. Oh, how do I want to do this? I wish I had bigger pans. Maybe we won't use the pans. Maybe I'll just go, I'll take them, I'll turn off the camera while I move the sheets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my little Pyrex dishes that I so love, and we'll start with lilac. And we'll pour some water in here. I don't need a whole lot because I'm not doing 100 pages. I'm only doing a couple. And let's pour some of this in there. Oh, one more thing I forgot is my popsicle sticks. Just give me a second, they're right behind me. Okay, so let's mix this up. Maybe I need a piece of paper to practice on. Let's see. I can only get one page on here anyway, so I could use my mats. I think I just want a little bit more color. And then what I simply do, and this is all I did last year, this is so fast. Pick up my paper here. Is I just take my brush, doesn't have to be a fancy brush, this is just a cheap brush. And I brush it across. I make it fairly wet. And this isn't, the color's not really showing, but I don't want a dark color. And you can see it's starting to pick up what's on the other side of the mat, the texture. But then I'm going to turn it over. And this is where the magic will come. So I did lilac. I'm just looking. I want to get this wet enough so this really starts to soak in to the texture on the mat. And you can, oh, that's a good idea too. Once these are dry, this video is going to take me many, many tries to what am I trying to say? I'm going to have to pause it many times. So maybe when the papers are dry, maybe we'll try combining colors on one. So anyway, that one's done. So I'm just going to lift this up. I'm going to put it on my mat here. And it can sit there. So then we'll do the same thing with wisteria. So we'll add, this is just tap water. I just poured into a water bottle. Oops, I didn't need that much. I'm going to pour that into here. The more water you have, the more diluted it gets. And then we'll do the wisteria. The nice thing about using your re-inkers is that if you're doing a journal or anything and you want to dye fabric, or you want to dye, I just need some paper towel here, seam binding, what's that, cheesecloth or anything like that, you can dye them all the same color to go in whatever whatever kit you're doing, so everything will match. I'm not a big matchy-matchy person though. I think that when you add different colors and different hues, it adds to the interest. So this doesn't look a whole lot darker, but we'll see when it dries. Oh yeah, you can see it's darker. And you don't have to squiggle your brush like that. I'm just doing it because it's fun. Okay. This is the one where we want to get that really saturated. And you can do envelopes. I did glassine bags. I did CD sleeves. You can do all kinds of different products while you're doing this. If I had seam binding, I'm out of seam binding right now. If I had some, I'd probably do my seam binding. But this can go in a covered container and it can sit for a while. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and put these two on my cutting table and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm trying to decide butterflies or ferns. And because it's the green, I think I'll go with the ferny leafy thing. And it has some of the tea on it from last year. So it might pick that up as well, which would be nice. So let's grab the mint. See what we get. Oh, I need water. I'm sorry. I just think I step away for 1 minute and I already forget the process. Oh God. Oh, sorry. You gotta laugh. Oh. I don't know how people can even follow my instructions because I can't even keep it together. But anyway. I've been trying to do a video every 2 days and I'm just finding that really stressful for me. I do have health issues and I just have been really stressed out this last week trying to get videos out, and I'm thinking I have to slow down. I have to, I guess, not have a schedule. Just do them when I feel comfortable doing them or when I feel well. Okay, I'm going to do 2 sheets of paper because this one is so big. And then maybe we'll do a couple on the birds and the bees. It's not birds and bees, but okay. So we'll take this. I think I want that darker. That's where you shouldn't add so much water, because now I have to get a lot of re-inker to get that color up. I still want it darker. I guess you buy more re-inker when you run out, right? I shouldn't have put that much water in. Still not. Well, we'll see what we get when we're done. I think rather than adding more re-inker to this and keep adding re-inker, I think what I'll do is I'll just dump it out and start with less water if this color doesn't dry vibrant enough for me. And I should probably do a CD sleeve for this journal too. Did I turn this one over? I can't remember. We'll turn it over. Yikes. We'll turn you over too. Okay. I want it quite drenched because the more, whoopsie, I might have tore that there. The more Oh, I did tear it there. I'm being a little too rough. The more water you have, the more your texture is going to show. The more, not water, the more of your color you have, your concentrate. Okay, that's it for now, and I will be back when these are dry. Okay, I'm back. My pages have dried. I don't even know that I tore a hole there, but I can use this for collaging. Very, very faint though. I had way too much water in, I think, with my re-inker. This one I like how it has, the edges are a bit darker. But again, you can see the texture. I'm not sure if you're seeing it or you're feeling it so much though. And these are my two purples. This is the lilac. I think the camera shows up the texture more than it shows up in real life here. And it's pretty, but I want it a little more vibrant. And there's the other one. So I'm going to redo them. And this time I'm going to try to remember not to add so much water. That's papers up here. Oh, darn, I meant to grab a paper towel and I forgot again. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with lilac since it's the lightest. And we'll put some in there. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit. I should have just used my spritzer thing. I see it here. My Tim Holtz spray bottle. Still may have too much water in there, but we'll see. I've never done this before. This is trial and error. And what I should have done is I threw together all the paint in one bucket, or not the paint, the water, colored water in one bucket, and I dumped it down the sink. But when you mix them all together, you got a vibrant teal. I should have just left it at that. Okay, we'll turn this one over, and you can stack. Like you can stack your boy, I don't have enough here. You can stack your papers up and do more. You just won't get as much texture. I see this could go through quite a few re-inkers, but if you're only doing a few for each journal, like I'm not going to do 100 pages here or even 20. I'm only going to do enough for this journal and maybe one more. So maybe even just 2 of each color is fine. That looks good, hey? I'm going to add another sheet on top of that, since I still have the mixture here. And you shouldn't rub like I do. I don't know why. I get an iron in my hand and I have that need to do that too, and no, that breaks down the fiber in the paper. You just want to get your solution across as efficiently and quickly as possible without disturbing the fibers. Okay, so there's our first one, and I've got my paper towel all messed up. Looks like part of the brush. I'll leave that till it dries. Okay, I'm going to move this off to the side. And we'll mix up the next one. The next one is Wisteria. I'm not even going to wash my brush because it's just a deeper purple. Put a few drops in. I hope that's on camera. A little bit of water. Probably should have stirred it first. I think that's why I got that really dark part right there. And these dry fairly quickly. A couple of hours yesterday and these were dry. And when I get my seam binding, I will, oh, quit rubbing, Winona. When I get my seam binding, I'll dye my seam binding to match in case I use it in the journal. So we'll grab another sheet of this. Oh, I don't need to line that up, it's just the first. I'm going to turn this one over. And again, you got to be careful because the fibers are starting to break down on the papers. Let's get this one here. I'm just going to add a bit of water to my brush, and we'll just wet this the rest of the way. And then I'll put this one away. And then this last one is on this big tea dyed sheet. And that's going to be my green. I'll maybe rinse my brush out and I'll use the green container. A little tiny bit of water. And I don't panic that I'm using a fair amount of, well, not really a fair amount, it's just drops of the re-inker, but because that's what I bought the re-inker for. This one doesn't want to come out very easily. Okay, let's see what we've got there. That's darker than yesterday. I definitely would not start off with a dry brush because the brush will mop up all of your mixture right away. I would try to have a damp, not a soaking wet brush, but a damp brush. There we go. And I'll put one more on top of this one today. Oops. I'm going to mix up just a tiny bit more. And I think that's going to be good for this, oopsie, this journal for the pages I want for it. I don't know what I did here. My paper got all wrinkled up, but that's okay. This mat makes awesome textured paper. Oopsie. Yeah, don't be too aggressive. You'll tear your paper. Awesome, I love that. Okay, this will dry lighter, of course, but I think that's good. I think that's what I'm looking for. So I'll come back when everything's dry and we'll take a look at what we've got. Okay, so I'm back with my dyed paper. I'm a little disappointed, and I think it's because there wasn't enough color, and that's partly because of the colors I chose, but there wasn't enough color to really pick up this texture in here. It worked much better with tea, and that could be because tea leaves that kind of residue behind as well. But when you look, the colors are pretty darn close to what I chose from my stash. So the next step I'm going to do, I'm going to put these inks to the side for now. I will be using them a bit later. And I'll put these to the side as well. This is what I did the first day, and actually you can see the texture in there. I guess you can see it. It's just very faint. But what I'm going to do now, hopefully, I haven't used these in years, is Glimmer Mists, Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. I just want to spray a bit on, hopefully to get just a little bit of a shimmer with a tiny bit of color. And I need to grab a paper towel again. Oh, I did grab one. Okay, what I want to do first of all though is spray it off on my paper towel, because if you've used these, you know how they might not work for quite a while, and then all of a sudden it'll work and it'll just shoot out just crap. This feels like it's plugged. Oh, there we go. See? I don't want that. I just want a little shimmer. So I'm just gonna, just from a distance, just give it a little bit of shimmer. And I'm gonna do that to all my papers. I also have a lot of Lindy's Stamps products that I want to get using as well. I want to start pulling in more card making, junk journaling, not junk journaling, mini album techniques, things that I love doing. I want to combine them all. Now this page originally I thought I couldn't use, but you know, it's a little bit ragged there, but let's see. So if we did a frame around this with scraps of paper, this would be fine. So we'll just keep it off to the side. I don't know if I'll use it in this journal or not. So there's my green. I'll mop this up a bit. And I generally take this down in my kitchen sink and soak it after, but this tea is kind of in there permanently. So this is the next color I chose. It's Snow Angel. It's not really purple, but from my button, I sprayed these on labels when I first got them, and then I punched them out with the circle punch and stuck it onto the tops. So from the label that I did, it looks a little bit purpley. And you never shake these up and down because the pigment, the mica flakes, get into the straw then and they get plugged. You always kind of just swirl it to get it going. Okay. I think you might be stuck. Oh, there we go. Just when you think there's nothing to come out, and then it just does. So again, I'm more for shimmer than color. And I'm just stacking them on top. If a little bit of the green bleeds in, I don't care, because it's all in the palette I'm using for this journal. Okay, so that's it for that color. And I don't need to mop up because the next color I'm using is a purple. This is a much deeper purple, but it's what I have. And you can see all that pigment stuck on the bottom. Looks like it's got some gold in it. And it's not moving. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this one's really shoots out funny. There, that's better. This one might be a little more wine than I wanted, but that's okay. The paper came out a little more blue than I wanted as well. See, that's cool. And when that dries, I don't know if the camera's going to pick up that shimmer there. But when that dries, it'll just shimmer. Oops. I kind of got carried away there. Oops. Forgot what I was doing. Okay. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to clean up and let these dry, and I'll be right back with my next step. Please stay tuned, because this is where the reason why you use re-inkers is so awesome. Be back in a flash. Okay, so I was saying stay tuned because I was going to show you why it's so awesome to use re-inkers to dye your papers with. Because now I'm going to use the stamp pad to stamp on them. And what that's going to do is be a tone on tone, and it's going to be very faint. So I think I've got these backgrounds, and I think I'm going to do a few circles. And I don't even think I'm going to put it on a pad. Oops. You know, I was doing videos for my other channel, and my fingernails are all yellowish. And I don't smoke, and I don't drink, and I eat a fairly healthy diet, and I'm on supplements and everything, and oh, my nails look terrible. And I was blaming it on me being like lacking. Oh, I think I'm going to have to put that on a stamp thing. Me lacking in some vitamins or something. No, because I'm in ink all the time and paint. Okay, I'm just going to stamp there. And that's going to get lighter as it goes. So I'm just going to do a few of these. I could make my own pattern paper now if I chose to. But what I really want to do though is, I think I'll do stitches. I think I'll do, I struggle. I'm planning my next video in my head, and I'm thinking I want to do messy stitching on it. And it's like, oh man, that's going to be hard for me. Okay, so this is going to go into my journal. So it's going to be folded in half. I'm just going to do a light crease. So I think what I want this kind of along the creases. And you can see how much this is faded already. And then I'll line this one up here. And I never went right. I don't care. I'm not going to be that picky. There we go. And then let's do a few of what I'm really here for. I'm going to do a few crosses. What other pads do I have here? That's pretty big. Let's use this one. And if I really want these to show up in the background, I can use an ink that's a bit darker. But I want this to be just really subtle, just to add a bit of interest. Okay, let's do Cherish. Cherish is a word I just love. I've got all my olds close to my heart. Stamping blocks here. We'll do Cherish because this will be on 2 different pages. Then we'll do Faith. We need to have Faith. So let's do Faith. And let's do Believe. And what I will probably do with these stamps, because these are just cheap stamps from AliExpress, I believe, or someplace like that, I'm probably just going to put them in a container and just keep them loose to use for these journals. Believe. Oh, I should have it this way though. Believe. Okay, I hope you can see that. it's just brought a little more interest to this page. We could also go around the edge of the page with our ink pad and make the edges a little darker. It's a little hard because this paper is still a little bit damp. But that just frames the page. And that's just what I want. Just a little bit of interest to just a dyed page. So I'm going to continue on. I'll do the others here, and then I'll show you what I've got at the end of the video. Okay, I'm back. I'm done stamping, and as you can see, most of them are very subtle. The wisteria is a little darker than I would have liked, but I'll bring this up to the camera and see if the camera, you can pick up that faint, it's like a watermark stamp. That's how I wanted it. I wanted it to be very subtle. These papers are still a bit damp. Here's the lilac. Shows up a little more, but it's still, I really like it. And if you turn the page, like in real life, I don't know if the camera picks up the shimmer, but in real life you can see the shimmer. So these will be used in my My Porch Prints prayer journal that I'm doing. I don't know what to call it, a prayer journal, a scripture journal, a devotional. It's kind of just a Christian themed, I guess, journal. And this is a little darker, but that's okay too, you know. Oh, I had that one upside down. Whew, I was scared for a moment. Scared myself. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like that's a little darker than I would personally like. But we'll see how the journal comes together. You know, you're going to add things on top of your pages as well. This one I stamped the sewing down the sides. And I actually, oh, I got water. I must have got water on here. Darn it, that'll have to dry. Anyway, so that's it for today. I wish you lots of luck and happiness until we meet again. Bye-bye.